Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. If you're new here, I am Freyleyce. Today's video is going to be a tour, I guess, of my KU library. What I normally do when I want to TBR a book is I put it on my Goodreads TBR and then I go through them every so often and actually move them to my Kindle so they're a step further to being read. It's very rare that I download a book straight from my Goodreads TBR shelf, kinda. I normally just download 20 every few weeks and then read them from there. So it's currently full. I think we have 20 books or something, so I thought I'd show you around. A lot of people were asking for a bookshelf tour, and I'm not finished my bookshelves, but as soon as I am, I will show you guys a bookshelf tour. But in the meantime, I thought we'd do something kind of in between. So this is my KU library tour. A lot of these books are on my TBR. Some of them I have read. I just haven't moved them off, but I thought I'd show you anyway. This is a sit-down video, so it's kind of a little more chill. I'm just talking about my love for books, so let's get into these. I think we have 20 or something. I feel like I'm at the limit. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go. So I'm not gonna get out my Kindle for this. I'm gonna screen record it on my phone because my Kindle is awesome. I actually have two, but one of them, the one I read on most of the time, isn't great at opening the Kindle store, so I just go on my phone all the time because it obviously transfers to my Kindle. It just is easier for me, especially if I saw a book on TikTok or Instagram or something and I just want to quickly see if it's on KU. That works great. So we're gonna start at the bottom. Shadow Man by Catherine Wiltshire. I read the Santiago trilogy by Catherine Wiltshire and I absolutely adored it. It is one of my favorite series of 2022, and this one is about a character we got to see in that one. His name is Grayson. He's definitely giving tortured hero vibes and I do want to read it. I'm not too sure because of the cover. I'll be honest. Y'all know I love pretty, scrolly, fancy covers that are a little more discreet, so I'm not sure if I'll get to that one. If she comes out with a discreet cover though, maybe I will. I do want to try more Catherine Wiltshire though, so we'll see. Next is These Monstrous Ties by KV Rose. Now, KV Rose is an author I feel like I would absolutely love. I feel like I could obsess over her books. I've only read 3 of them and I did enjoy them, but I want to read more of her recent stuff and more of her more popular series because I feel like I could love her. I just need to get around to actually reading those books. So this series I've heard a lot of good things about and I do want to try it. I also want to try Ominous and I feel like I should read this one first, but I don't know which one I'm gonna get to first. Next is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This one I feel like is such an OG and it's super popular. I don't really know why I haven't read it yet. I kind of just didn't really find it intriguing. It kind of seems a little basic and I know it's a slow burn and slow burns don't always work for me. I always love action-packed boom 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 kind of books, so I might read it, I might not. I probably feel like I'll take it off, honestly. I know a lot of people love it and say it's super good, but I just don't really know if I want to read it. I feel like I'll just be wasting my time, so I probably won't read it, but I mean it's there anyway. Promises and Pomegranates, is that what it's called? By Sav R. Miller. This one is on here because I'm planning on doing a beginner dark romance recommendation video, and this was one that I was like, oh, I feel like this one would be good because she's a really popular author on Book Talk, I think, and her books kind of seem like they're beginner dark romance or on the lighter side of dark romance, so I want to try it out. I have read one book from her and I absolutely hated it, so I don't know if I will read this, but I feel like I want to. I've seen some parts of it and some scenes from it and it sounds good, so it's on here. Really don't know if I'll get to it. Built to Fall by Julia Wolfe. This one is on here because it's a rockstar romance, so obviously I had to do it. I think somebody recommended this to me on TikTok and I was like yeah, so I checked it out. It looked good, discreet cover, thank you, and so I downloaded it. I've tried Julia Wolfe in the past and I didn't really like it. That one was also high school, so I don't know if this one's high school. I feel like if it is, I may not read it. If it's not, then we'll see. I always like to give rockstar romance a try, even though sometimes I hate it and sometimes I love it. The next one is Purgatory by KL something. The little thing's hiding it, sorry. This one I saw through one of my favorite authors' Instagram. She was saying happy release date to this author and I was like, oh, I love that cover. Apparently it was a gothic, some fantasy, maybe a little bit of paranormal too. And so I was like, that sounds really good. I love the cover. I popped it on my TBR and then I downloaded it because I was like, that one does sound really good. So it's always a toss up for me whether or not I want to read the gothic books that I have on my TBR now or if I'm gonna wait till Halloween to do it. I feel like I should probably read this one now. I think it's in a series and I don't think the next few are out yet, so I might wait for that. Pensive by Trevina Terry or something. I did read this one. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was steamy, but it was just a little basic for me. The reason I haven't put this back into the KU library is because I didn't make any TikToks about it, so I wanted to go back and copy the excerpts that I'd be sharing, which is something I do quite often. You'll see a few more books like that. I've been super busy and I haven't had time to do it, so I'm waiting on that, and then I'll put it back in the KU library. But I did enjoy it. It wasn't all too special, but it wasn't bad. The Death Club by 2 authors, that's all I remember. This one is Reverse Harem, and I started it, I think I'm like 3% in. It's a thick one, and it sounded intriguing, and then the first chapter was from the heroine's point of view, and I was like, ooh, I didn't really like the way that she like thought or something. Like, I find Reverse Harem heroines to be so cliche, and they're all the same, and I did think this one would be different, but if it's not, then I'm gonna DNF it, depending on how far I get. I feel like if I get 30% through, then I'll DNF it, but if not, then I'll just like never pick it up again. Does that make sense? No. Slave to the Rhythm is a dancer romance, which I always love, but I did not enjoy it. I'm 20% through, and I put it down because I was just like, like what? The cover was not a highlight for me, and that was kind of deterring, but then I picked it up and I was like, shall give this book a chance, and I didn't like it. So I don't know if I'll continue it. I might just DNF it. It was really dark and it wasn't what I was looking for, and I didn't like the way that it was going, so probably just gonna DNF. Next is A Bullet Between Us by Kate Dossel. I did read this one. This is a pretty shorter mafia romance, and it was so good. I've been waiting for this book to be on KU forever, and it was finally on KU, like after months. And I was like, okay, I'm reading it. It was kind of like an anticipated read, but it was already out. It just wasn't in KU. And so when the author said it was in KU, I was like, hell yeah. So I read it. It was great. This was another like criminal to law enforcement. In this case, he was a DEA agent kind of dynamic. I do have a rec video coming for like criminal to FBI agent type of romance dynamics, but it's in a few weeks. I have added it to the list though. This one didn't give all the feels of that, but it gave some, and I really did enjoy it. I definitely would recommend this for mafia. And once again, the reason I did not return it back to the KU library is because I haven't used the scenes from it yet, so waiting on that. The Ties That Bind Us is a sapphic or female-female romance that I found through TikTok. Pride Month is coming up, and I really want to read some sapphic romances. I have a story that I will share when I do my recommendation video for that, but I love reading sapphic romances. They're just not usually what I'm looking for. A lot of them are like cartoon covers, and I don't read cartoon covers, and so when I found this one, I was super excited. I'm definitely gonna get to this one either in the first week of June or maybe before. We'll see. But yeah, I have a few more sapphic romances too in my KU library that I'll show you soon. I'm so excited for them. What Grows Dies Here by Anne Malcolm. I showed you guys this in my book haul. I'm so excited for this. I do prefer reading both in KU and paperback. If I had to choose one, I'd probably be reading just KU, but I have the paperback and it's gorgeous. So I have a feeling I'll be switching between my Kindle and the paperback for reading it, but I'm very excited. This is a gorgeous cover. It's super emotional. I think it's friends to lovers. I'm so excited. And then there's Lies That Sinners Tell, also by Anne Malcolm. I feel like I'm gonna love Anne Malcolm's writing. I'll be really shocked if I don't. And so I wanted to check out some of her other ones. This one sounded good. Kind of discreet cover, kind of not, but it sounded good, so I took a chance on it. I'm so excited to read some of her books, like so excited. Then you have Ominous Book 1. I have Ominous Book 2 on my shelf, and so I know I'm going to be reading them at some point. Just the size of them absolutely terrifies me. They're both like hundreds of pages long, and so I definitely will need to read them in KU because I read much faster in KU, or on my Kindle, I guess I should say, sorry. So yeah, gonna pick up this duet at some point. I'm just pretty scared of reading them because they're so thick. They are so thick, y'all. And then there's Vibe by Liza James. This one is a really dark sapphic romance, and I'm so excited for it. I've been wanting to read this for like literal ages. I just haven't gotten around to it, but it's in my KU library. I will be reading it, and I'm really excited. Like, it sounds super steamy and super dark, and it's cultish, and I'm so excited. I've read 2 of Liza James' books before, and they gave perfect gothic vibes, so I'm very excited for this one. Don't Tell Me No by, I think, Honey Chanel or something, is another sapphic romance. It just sounded really steamy, not really dark, but not really contemporary, and it sounded interesting, and it sounds really hot. So I put it in my KU library. I am also very excited to read this. I just feel like I'm gonna go on a sapphic romance binge, and I'm really excited for it. Corruption by Jenica Snow. This one I have read, absolutely loved it. This had all the tropes for me. It was like this book was literally made for me. So once again, I didn't make any TikToks about it, so I kept it in my library until I have, and then I'll return it. And then I have 4 that actually I got from Z Library, which is a like pirated book site where you can download books and send them to your Kindle. I think a lot of people use this because they don't want to pay for a Kindle and they don't want to buy paperbacks, and I absolutely do not shame people for that. I think it's super realistic. The amount of books I read, if I had to buy every single one, I would be broke. And so while I think we should support our authors because obviously they write so many good books for us, I totally understand that some people can't, and I'm not going to shame someone for that. So I did look up a bunch of videos on how to do it. I downloaded them from Z Library and I sent them to my Kindle. So all 4 of these are not in KU. They look like they are, but they're not. I just sent the document to my Kindle, which is an interesting way of reading, but I actually don't hate it. And so you have the Twist, I think, series by Anna Zares. I'm not sure. I've had this on my I know about this book and I want to read it kind of TBR for a long time, but like I said, it's not in KU, so I wasn't really going to get to it, and it's not unscripted either. So when I was downloading them, I'm like, oh yeah, there's another one that's not on KU that I really want to read. So this one I really want to read. Sick Fucks by Tilly Cole is another one I'm super excited to read. I know it's super dark, I know it's super emotional, heartbreakingly emotional, and it's also banned from Amazon, so that's why it's not on there. The paperback is, but obviously not really discreet kind of name, and so I wasn't gonna plan on buying it, but now that I have downloaded this document, I am literally so excited to read it. I might do a reading vlog for this one, we will see, but yeah, very excited to read this. Oh, I did this in the wrong order, but then you have Queen Takes Rose by Katie Robert. This one is a sapphic romance. Again, it doesn't really sound very dark, it just sounds really steamy and steamy. From what I've heard, that's kind of what Katie Roberts writes. I haven't read anything from her, but just from what I've heard, and so I'm excited for it. I'm just really ready for some female steamy times. And the last one is Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. I'm currently reading this one. I am really enjoying it. It's not gonna be a 5-star read. I feel like it's gonna just be 4, but nonetheless, I'm really enjoying it, and it's really hot. It's taboo, it's forbidden, and there's an age gap as well. And it was not in KU, so I downloaded it. I'm so glad to be finally reading it because I've had my eye on this one for a while, especially because it has a piano on the cover, and so I'm so glad to be reading it. Alright, that is all that is in my KU library. I hope you guys enjoyed this chill kind of video. I love making these almost as much as I love making recommendation videos. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video very soon.